Hello, I'm Renee, and you are watching Waylighter Life Tarot. Hey, I wanted to bring you a couple of notes about the coming eclipses. In particular, let's focus on Leo, and then I will do a second video about the upcoming Pisces lunar eclipse later in the month. I wanted to offer some different ways of thinking about eclipses than the usual kind of hype that we have of being afraid that something's going to be taken from us, even if something replaces it that we want. There's a fear of change, and there's a whole lot of anxiety and kind of pressure around eclipses. And look, I'm not going to downplay it. Eclipses are the way that Source moves us forward very quickly in life when we might stay in a comfort zone. So we get kind of slingshotted out into something new, whether we're ready or not. And that's intended for our highest good. So, not taking away from that in the least. But again, just wanted to offer maybe some softer notes for us to consider and hold in our field around us, our energy around us that I've talked about recently. Hold in our field that can help soften some of these influences. So, the first thing I wanted to say is that we have several things going on at once. Um, on that day, we have this amazing meteor shower in the Perseids, and there will be up to 90 per hour, which is really incredible. If you watch the night sky and allow your eyes to adjust for about 20 minutes, you can start to see even more. So there's that, there's the meteor shower. Then, secondly, we have this amazing lineup of six major planets. So I wrote them down so because there were too many for me to remember right off the bat. There's Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. And they are all going to line up, uh, which basically just says that their power is in dialogue with each other, is amplified, it plays off of each other. And you can take a look and see when the best time is to view those. Jupiter will be, I believe, the least visible, but hopefully you are in a place where you can even tune into that. Okay, so we have those two things. Then we have the eclipse in Leo. So this is a destined change. So it's not something that is going to come about only because of an action that you have taken or that someone else takes or your expectations. This is actually the wheel of fortune moving us forward and saying that this is something that we agreed to, and we're going to be moved into a new arena or a new level or a new skill. It's in some way a major change as a result. This is a solar eclipse. So typically with solar eclipses, something new comes in. However, this is going to be near the south node that is now in Leo. And so it's a little bit trickier than that. It's not only something new. What's happening is that it's an opportunity that is presenting itself. Yes, it is a new path that is opening up, but it is about also something from our past. And with the South Node being in Leo, we are being asked to let go of something that might have been somewhat dear to us in our identity. Leo is about our individuality, about how we feel like we show up authentically. So it's not anything that is necessarily just ego driven. Don't let anyone tell you that this is about getting rid of your ego and being more authentic. Yes, of course, we can always learn from that. So I don't mean to diss that. And this is really about asking ourselves, what is something that I love and have found comfort in that at some point is tipping over into keeping me staying still? To the point where maybe I'm getting a little bit stuck in it or I'm preserving it. I'm putting a lot of energy into protection. So think of the Tower card in tarot. The Tower card is one that says you've hung on to something for too long, and so the universe is going to come along and basically cause that to collapse so that you fall out of the tower and, like Rapunzel or any other damsel or character in distress, you've become imprisoned even if you didn't realize it, and now it's gone, and you have to recreate your living situation, let's say. I don't want to say prison because certainly we hope that that's not a goal that we have to just recreate. Okay, so I just made a quick list for myself here of some things. Ah, I really love this, and I wanted to share this with you. Let me just put a disclaimer out there first. I am an anthropologist, and so I talk about different cultures. I do not mean to appropriate that culture. There are going to be many of you watching who have a much deeper understanding of this than I do, if this is your native culture or if you have studied this for a very long time. But I find it beautiful, and I want to offer it to others. And that is that eclipses are seen within various Hindu traditions as Shiva, who is the divine masculine principle, kissing the eyelids of Shakti, who is the divine feminine principle. And he kisses her right eye when there's a solar eclipse. He kisses her left eye when there is a lunar eclipse. And when it is dark, those moments of darkness is when they are uniting. They come together as lovers. And I thought that that was beautiful. It's intended to be a balancing, a very powerful balancing out of the time of separation or just distinctions that they have. And I thought that that was a just a lovely metaphor. So let's see what it is that Source has to offer us in terms of what may be coming up for you in this eclipse. So the last zodiac readings that I did, I talked about Leo in each of the signs and Jupiter moving into Leo, the South Node moving into Leo, a little bit of how that's dialoguing with Aquarius. I talked about all of that, and so I encourage you to look at your sun, moon, and rising sign and Venus. And if you know your progressed year, you could look at that as well. I am in a Sagittarius year, and I'm finding that listening to or reading for that sign is really helping me to understand what my opportunities are now. Okay, so we are ready. Okay. As often is around these events, Source has given us a beautiful reading. So we have first the card of joy. And it shows a woman with radiant, almost like a halo around her or a crown. I think of Hecate's spirals, or excuse me, sparks of light that are shooting out from her crown. And she is holding the orb of what looks like the sun. Whatever it is golden and beautiful. She has her head tipped back in sheer joy and has a just a look of just letting go and enjoying on her face. So you can see that her crown is echoed in the palm trees around her. She is one with the landscape of the moment and just feeling that joy. I love this. She's holding the orb there. The second card is possibility, and we have the older horned one here. Bubbles usually are incubating some part of us. And so here we have that aspect that we talked about earlier with Leo. We have that aspect of our identity or our self. In some way, we have put ourselves into a bubble so that we could learn, so that we could grow, so that we could dream. And that is beautiful. And how is it that that bubble may not be big enough for us anymore? How is it that maybe we need to allow that bubble to float away and to know that it's not just taking a part of us, that there is more of us that will come forward when there is space and that we will experience new things with that change of identity. Our third card shows another bubble and the gratitude that comes when we can do that. So this flower that is in the bubble is actually still on a stem, and the stem is in this woman's hand. It looks like a woman, could be a man, could be anyone. And the sun is aspecting that very center part of the flower where the pollen is that makes nectar when the bees and the butterflies visit. Well, the butterflies don't make honey, but they do help to cross-pollinate. So what is it that you can cross-pollinate in your life to help create new possibilities? We had joy, possibility, and gratitude. The gratitude comes once we have seen that something was for our good, that some force of the universe, some person, some some creative something, maybe a plant. For me, it's often trees, maybe an animal, may just be an essence, maybe an ancestor or a spirit. There's so many reasons to feel gratitude and to be grateful. I like feeling gratitude better being grateful sometimes feels like it could mean a hierarchy, a kind of a subservience, not always, but feeling that sense of appreciation that something maybe that you didn't expect worked out. So I'm actually just with that little shuffle, I have that we are ready here. Okay, so Source is recommending as an action to take that you do a releasing ritual. So remember we said that Leo is being aspected now not only by Jupiter, but also is now has the mathematical point of the south node of the moon. And that is about releasing something that has outserved its usefulness, at least as you've used it. It doesn't mean that it won't return to you in a different way. And I've talked about that as well in other videos. But once your north node moves, opens up and you learn new things, sometimes your south node abilities and past learning comes back again in a new way and you get to use them together. But the intention is that you let go of the things that have sustained you thus far so that you have to create something new. You have to learn something new. And I know that that may, cause an ache within you. It may cause a little bit of fear. Sometimes we fear, like, is it going to be as good? How could it be as good? Or is it going to be worse? Right? Which I guess is to say the same thing, but it sure feels different when you say it that way, that it's not going to be positive. But we're being asked to do a releasing ritual and to allow this beautiful light to flow out of us, even those things that were heart centered, even those things that were heartfelt and deeply meaningful, to say, I am willing, Source, to learn something new. I am willing to be more than I have been thus far. And I believe that I am more than I even know that I am. There's more that I can do than I even know. There's more peace. There's more essence. I am fed unendingly by the spring, by the wellspring of life that is Source. And I don't have to worry that there is enough or that there is something more to come. My destiny, my being is always unfolding. It is never perfected. It is never finished. There is always something more. And I, with that, don't have to be afraid or tired that that's true. I can rest in Source and know that Source is looking out for me and can sustain me with vitality. And if you're having a little bit of difficulty with vitality, take a look at the reading that came through about a new sacred vitality. That was a channeled reading and it was amazing. We are being asked to open up to a new path, as has been coming through a lot lately, but we're also being given the vitality for it. We're not being asked to just do more and to pack more in, but to trust that Source is actually going to ask us to relax more and to give us more revitalization. So I'll put that in the description below. I'm doing a lot of Oracle today because these are the cards that wanted to come out and talk. So I was told actually to look at the bottom instead of the top. So let's see. Ah, love it. So after the releasing ritual, we have the achievement card, completion and reward. So after the releasing comes, let's see if I can make it so you can see him. There you go. After that comes, then we can have that sense of completion, that is what we are being asked to do, is to release. That's the accomplishment for this eclipse, is to allow Spirit to speak through us and to trust that what comes will be better than we can even imagine. So I'm going to leave this here. I know that this is a shorter reading and we did not do tarot today, but the tarot cards are not calling to me, nor am I hearing any or feeling any messages. Let me tune in for just one more moment. Source, is there anything else that you would like to bring to our attention? There's just a sense of peace. I'm just really feeling like I could take a deep breath there. You saw that. And I don't always. Sometimes my breath gets a little squeezed when I'm doing readings, depending on what the reading is. So I'm wishing all of you a beautiful week. know that something beautiful and new is coming, and our job is to release, to let go, to be grateful for new possibilities that bring us joy, and to know that that is the achievement, that is the accomplishment. That's it. Okay, I will talk with you soon.